See, a lot of it starts in your head. We're very thought-driven, nothing if not first an idea. You've got to have the idea first and then you take the action. If you don't have the idea, there is no action. Make sense? You can't do anything unless you thought of it first. So every action's already been, has been done twice, once in your head and once in reality. Well, it's not everyone. Unfortunately, a lot of them stay in here. A lot of them stay in your head and actually never get to become the thing. But anything that's become an action, anything that is actually out there, has happened at least twice. The first time it happened in your head. So you've got to have more ideas, basically. So what do we do for planning for profit? Well, we say, this is my thought anyway, review last year to establish what? Two things, the gross margin and the fixed costs. Okay, so I review last year and go, well, what were the fixed costs? Let's do an exercise and say, okay, the fixed costs of this business are, $400,000. No, it's made it up, really. And the gross margin is 70%. Okay, so they're the fixed costs. Okay, so what do I know down what's the next one? Okay, so they're my last year's numbers. You can get that just by printing and putting it out. True? All you do is look at the margin, you look at the fixed costs. Okay, now I add the new profit goal to fixed costs. Well, because the profit goal is here, it doesn't make that much difference where you put it, but fundamentally, so I say I want to make $100,000. Okay, I've just got that. I've written that now. I established the new sales targets. Ooh, that was a jump. How do we do that? Okay, so if that's the fixed cost and that's the profit, what's the gross profit? It's got to be the addition of both. If net profit is what's left after the fixed expenses taken from gross profit, then you must know that the gross profit needs to be $500,000. True? True or not? Gross profit, 500 minus 400 is going to equal 1,000. Start to figure out what sales you're going to need to make. This is 70% of sales. I think I'll get the calculator. Excuse me for 1 second. I should just disappear behind the board here. I won't let you see the calculator because it's got brand name on it. I work for the ABC. Can't do it. 70%. So if what's the sales that I have to make if that is 70% of it? This makes sense? I take 500,000, I divide it by 0.7, and the sales is 714,285. 714,000, no wonder I didn't calculate, 285. That's the sales target. Now, what's the cost of goods? Cost of goods is 30% of that. Would that be true? You're with me so far? Say no if you're not. Sounds like an auctioneer. Are you with me? Are you with me? The person in the front, are you with me? Say no if you're not, down the back. Okay, so it's going to be 30% of that, isn't it? Because if the gross profit was 70%, the cost of goods must have been 30%. The two of them together have to add up to that. Okay, so we take $714,285.71 and we multiply it by 0.3 and we get, surprise, $214,000, $285. Cost of goods, 30%. Cost of goods sold. There's your profit and loss statement. There's your next year's P&L. Now if that's 12 months, you've now got, what have you got now? If that's 12 months, all you've got to do is split that across 12 months. Now, some months might not be good. Some months you might know aren't as, it's not just a simple case of dividing that by 12 to get month by month by month by month. Potentially that is fixed cost. But you know your business. You know that, January in our business is a dog. It doesn't matter what we do. Well, we're closed for 3 weeks of it anyway. So, so maybe, you split December and January almost 1 month. But a lot of businesses do that. Consider December and January as 1 month. So what do? They divide the whole thing by 11 now. And split the months across. And then they just put that, they put the December and January is one of those months. So you're now talking about being able to generate a budget and a sales targets just from basically what did you start with? The thought that said, I want to make $100,000 out of this business. And all of a sudden now I've got a budget. Well, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Make sense?